Hello everyone. So today we are going to implement this Yondu's weapon in one of the Marvel movies, The Guardians of the Galaxy. This is a request from one of the patrons. So this is what we are going to work on today. But we are not going to implement these effects or trails or anything else. We just trying to implement the basic function of this weapon. So here is the demonstration. So it goes through these characters and kill. Let me show you again. So yeah, let's see how to implement this today, and maybe perhaps in a later date we will try to implement the trails and other effects as well. But for today, this is just what you're going to get. Right, so one of my patrons asked to implement this Yondu's weapon from Guardians of the Galaxy movie. So yeah, here is the preview. This is what he asked me to implement. Actually, I'm not going to focus much on the effects. Rather, I want to focus on how to like trace the nearby enemies and make the weapon attack them and kill them. That's basically what I want to implement. Alright, so let's create the project using the game, and I'll choose third-person template here. We don't need starter content. Create. Alright, yeah, this map is boring, so let's create a new map. Maybe this one. Not boring, this is not required. This is nice without any of the stuff. Right, let me save. Yondu map. Okay, so we have, let's assign the third-person game mode. So now if I play, the third-person character comes into play. Now in order to implement that Yondu's weapon, we need to have multiple characters, not just one. So let's create a child blueprint. Let's just call it NPC, and let's open it. Let me give them some visual difference so that we can identify the NPC characters. This is not important for what we are going to do, but let me just quickly do it. Alright, now let me place few of these characters in the world. Let's place start position here, and these guys scattered across randomly. Okay, now when we play, this is what we have. Nice. Okay, now let's create our weapon. Let's create a new folder, pp, and the weapon should be in the type actor should be fine. Did I choose actor? Yeah. Name this what should I call it? pp Yondu arrow. Hope that's a good enough name, right? Yeah, let's just make it look like a simple arrow. I'll add a cylinder. Make this look like an arrow. How is the scale in the world? That may be a bit too large compared to a character. Yeah, it's too large. So alright, let's give it a head too with a cone. Right. Oh, it's too fast. Right, now it looks like an arrow. Alright, good enough. Now before okay, player is here, right? Let me place it around here. Now we can see the weapon. Now the next step is I'm gonna make this shoot through these characters. Okay, so first we need to determine those characters, then we need to move, and yeah, let's see how to do that now. So to determine these NPC characters, there are multiple ways. Either we can do like a sphere trace around this location to determine nearby characters, or we can use something like get actors of class, but bear in mind that remember that this function get all actors of class, as I have heard, this is a bit expensive function, but since we are only using this once and we are still in the testing stage, so this should be good enough at this stage, but just know that this is expensive. So before do that, let's just give it some delay so we can observe before it shoot through the characters. Here I'll select the actor type as NPC, so it will only attack NPCs, and then let's promote this to a variable targets. Okay, now let's create the custom event shoot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the arrow move through each of these targets. So how should we get started? First, I'll define an integer value, hit count. So this will hold the number of characters that we already hit. So initially I'll set it to 0 and then get the hit count, get the length, and if the hit count if the hit count is less than the length, that means we have targets that we haven't hit yet. So here, then I'm gonna get the target and get a target from this index. Okay, so we only need the location, get the location, and we need to move the weapon into this location. Maybe not the location, a bit far past the location. So get the location and get that the current location of the actor, then find look at rotation. This will be required to set the direction of the weapon. So set actor rotation, and to move, well, as I said, not just there, a bit past the target. So get unit direction vector from current location to this actor, and also we need to find the distance between two locations. So if the distance, let's say distance is some value 1000, if we want the weapon to go past a bit past that location, we should add something to it. Let's say 200 should be enough, and multiply this direction with this value and add it to the current location. Then we will have the target location, the target where our weapon needs to move. So move component to, so here I'm gonna move 3-fold scene route. This is the target location, and the relative rotation I'm not this. Okay, let's do some in out as well. And time, how much? Well, let's just, for now, since we need to see it moving, I'll set this to 1 second or maybe 0.5 seconds for shortest rotation path, and once we finish going to one target, we can have a small delay. Yeah, before that, let's increment the hit count. Because we hit one target now, and in order to get the next target, we can simply come back to the beginning of this code like this. Alright, so if the hit count exceeds the number of targets here, then nothing will happen. So that means we have hit all the targets. So we need to call this shoot event here. Oh well, one more thing. I think we should put this part also inside the shoot event. Yeah, that would make everything in one place that matters for this mechanism. Right, now let's call shoot. Right, let me save all and let's see what happens. Okay, it is working. The characters are sort of snapping. That's because of the collision. So we don't really need collisions here. So let me just set to no collision. Great, it is working as intended. So now let's implement death of characters. Alright, how to implement killing? Well, I think it would be better if I just implement this in the parent character through interface. Yeah, let's create an interface. Blueprint interface, PPI character kill. That should be enough. So let's implement it here. PPI character kill. Right, now all I want to do is just enable ragdoll for this character. Set simulate physics, and to do that I think we need to have ragdoll. Right, now here when we go through one character, so this is 0.5. Yeah, we need a reference to this character. Okay. Right. Yeah. Now let's test. Okay, it worked. Let's try again. Alright, maybe after reaching the end, it should move back to the original position. So let's do that part too quickly. We need to get actor transform and promote to variable original transform, save it, and once we finish all the targets, here we can call move component to again with the default scene route to the original transform. So here we can split, get the location and the rotation with is in is out over 0.3. So let's just reduce this time a bit, because now we can clearly see it is happening as intended. Let's try 0.2. Okay, now the weapon is here. Alright, I think this should be good enough for today. So we basically have the functionality of the weapon, but to improve this we can do things like we can obviously add some trail effect and use a proper mesh with the texture, and then also we can assign or attach this to the character, and when we press some button it should move away from it, should like start flying and moving through those enemies. So yeah, those are the things we can do as improvements, perhaps in a later episode, but for now I'm going to stop it right here. So this episode is sponsored by this generous patron. Thank you very much for your support. And as always, project files will be available here in the patron page for the download. Link would be in the description below, and if you like to support my work, you can get the membership of the patron club. See you in another episode. Goodbye.